As apostolic young people grow into adults, they are faced with difficult life decisions. Parents encourage their children to be the best that they can be, so children look for the best education they can find. Through this transition, children become adults, and many times lose the support they are so used to getting. The immense pressure that young adults feel comes from all directions. They can't disappoint their parents, but they feel called to do something for God. Where do they go from here? How do they put the pieces together? Some seek help from those older and wiser than them, but in a world full of competing truths, the answers they give push the pieces apart. They may turn to friends they've made, but in a YOLO world, the pieces don't matter. Still, they struggle with life's questions, refusing help from those who care, and throwing the pieces together in ways that suit their desires.
My name is Nolan Alders, and it was in Texas at a youth camp at age 16 that God called me to ministry. Immediately after God called me to minister, I went into secular college. And it was there that I decided to study physics. My parents were pushing me to get a secular degree. They wanted a degree that was accredited. But going into this college, they began to wear away at my faith. They began to wear away at the strength that I felt in God, and I became lukewarm. I was sitting here with the secular worldview being blasted at me all day. And then, immediately after I graduated from the secular college, I really felt strongly like God told me, go to Bible college. I found Urshan Graduate School of Theology, and I realized for the first time, wow, I can get an apostolic education that is accredited, and it be my master's degree. A year ago, when I was in the secular college, I felt like I was miles away from God. I was in the lowest point of my life. I was like in the valley. And now I can say that I'm higher than I've ever been spiritually. I've gone from the lowest to the highest. It's absolutely fantastic what an apostolic education can do, how it can change a person. And I can say right now I am not the person I was a year ago. I am completely different, and I credit that to the work that the people are doing here at UGST.
My name is Crystal Napier, and I'm a sophomore at Urshan College. I am studying organizational leadership with a concentration in business. I decided to just go to a secular college, and I just began to work. For a couple years, I really fought with what I wanted to do. When I found out that Urshan was in the process of being accredited, I found out that I could study business, but I could also study theology classes and classes that teach me how to be a better leader, a better servant in ministry, and also experience chapel services at this school that are just amazing, and be surrounded by 100 other apostolic students that have goals and dreams of impacting the world as an apostolic, but also doing it through the workforce. I've also had the opportunity since I've been here to get a work study in one of the business offices here at UGST, the graduate school. So I'm getting the experience that I wanted, and through ministry, through education, and I'm applying it at the same time. I'm not going to wait until I finish Urshan College to apply what I'm learning right now. I have the opportunity to do that now with my work study. Urshan College is the greatest decision I've ever made.
My name is Ryman Horde. I am a dual enrolled student here at Urshan College. I am finishing up my high school education while beginning my college education here at Urshan. In the fall, I will be beginning my degree program for organizational leadership, and I am thankful that Urshan College has an apostolic environment to where I can be competitive in the workforce and also effective in the ministry.
On September 10, 1976, Terry and Diana Painter left the Gateway parking lot and drove to the hospital. That day, their first son was born. And they brought him home a few days later, and home was Gateway. That son was me, and my first church service in this life was here in the chapel. I spent my first few years of life here, and then my parents moved away, ultimately to the Seattle, Washington area. For nearly 30 years I lived there. I taught at a couple of different universities, and when I heard that we were going to begin an endeavor for an accredited institution managed by the United Pentecostal Church here at what was Gateway but would become Urshan, I decided within a few weeks that I wanted to be on the ground floor of this endeavor. This is so important for our movement, and I didn't want to wait until it was successful to be a part of it. I wanted to be able to say in 10 or 15 years that I was there when we started, before we ever knew it was going to get off the ground, before we ever knew that we were going to be able to make it. I wanted to be a part of making it happen. I was struck by the potential of the facility, the potential of Urshan College, deeply impressed by what this could be in time. So here I am, and we're making it happen. We're on the ground floor, but we're moving up.
We need you to pray for Urshan. Without an umbrella of prayer from God's people, we are fighting a battle that we cannot win. We need you also to inform others. We need you to spread the word on what Urshan is doing to provide an apostolic environment where our young people can be educated, equipped, and empowered for serving leadership in the church and in the world. Finally, we need you to give. Most educational institutions do not survive on what students pay in tuition and fees alone. They depend on their donors and volunteers to propel them through their mission. Urshan College and Urshan Graduate School of Theology are no exception. Please visit urshan.net/donate to give electronically, or contact the Urshan Development Office for alternative ways to give. Please support what the UPCI is doing to ensure that your children and the generations to come have an apostolic option in higher education.
Urshan exists to help apostolic young adults put the pieces together. Help us help students find their place in God's kingdom.